Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Runescape Dragonwilds playthrough. Previous episode, if you haven't seen that, go and watch that now. We basically just set up a base and got ourselves some resources and some tools. And we are currently working through the tutorial. So this is episode 2. Welcome back and welcome to those of you who are new. Let's move forward. So we are going to start off with finishing off the roof of our base, which currently, as we look inside, there's nothing there. So we're going to be adding some support beams. We added a bed with a little bit of a roof just so we have a place to sleep and pass the nighttime. But this will be fully fleshed out throughout the series. So we'll just kind of take it from there. So first off, we are going to gather a bit more wood and a bit more of the stone. That's going to be our primary resources right now, and then we'll get into furs and leathers and all that later on, once we are looking more towards armor and that kind of thing. But I think for the most part, we won't be needing that stuff right away. So yeah, let's continue. Let's get going. So we're going to start cutting down some trees here. And in the previous episode, we have acquired some runes. So now we're able to do a wonderful thing called astral projection. I will give a demonstration with that here. So you can really cut as many trees as you can see within range. I think the range is about, I don't know, I'm going to use feet, probably 10, 15 feet. Moving any closer, that tree just behind us goes out of focus. Green indicates the trees that will be affected by the spell. So we're going to just stick with these 4 trees here. So we will start off doing this, and you'll see that it cuts all 4 of those guys. And nice, we got a Steam achievement. That's pretty good. That was pretty crisp. The next spell that we're going to try to unlock is going to be very, very helpful with clumps of logs like this, because we can actually turn them all into planks. But unfortunately, we don't have that yet. So this part still has to be manual. That's the beauty of progression, though. And I believe our current quest is, so we just have to return to Xanax. So once we're done chopping up these logs, we will go and complete that part of the quest. I'm not sure if that's the end of the tutorial, but we will find out. Gonna have to eventually go and farm a bunch of rats and some chickens and stuff like that, because doing this type of activity this much in a physical form, it eats up your thirst and your survival, or your hunger. So definitely food is going to be our bigger challenge early game, but it's what makes the grind fun, I guess. Seeing that constant progression. Because I'm still trying to find, like, all the best ways to play this game. I do have another character I've been working on for a little bit, and I kind of forget a lot of the early game stuff, just because it's been a little bit, but the game is very good so far, for as far as I've made it. I won't spoil how far I've made it, just in case there's people here that don't know anything about the game and don't want any spoilers, but the game gets very good later on, so it's just the initial startup. Much like real RuneScape, how the beginning of the game is tedious and this and this and that, but the more you make progress, the easier it gets. I wouldn't say easier, more so, you know, the more fluent it gets. Hunger is always going to be a thing. Thirst is always going to be a thing, but they just become I guess, a part of the process rather than a nuisance. Is there any more logs? I think one might have rolled away, but I don't remember. Yep, there's one more right here. Let me just check if we have that other spell unlocked. So this is the one I'm getting at. This is the spell called Splinter. So basically anything on the ground, like a log that you've chopped, it'll just turn it into planks per se, or not planks, but just regular logs like those. Oh, axe broke. So we are gonna need to go and repair that. So to repair items, all we do is go to the crafting table, and then it's going to use 1 stone to repair that. And since we're here, we might as well, whoops, we might as well repair this guy as well. And just to get rid of both the rain and the nightfall, we're just going to sleep in our beds to take care of another mechanic, which is rest. And if your rest becomes 50, it will lower your stamina by 20 points down to 80. And then I think every 10 points lower than 50, it lowers it by an additional 10 or 20 or something like that. So you don't want to be doing that, especially early game, because it will hurt. That extra 20 points of stamina, like when it comes to fishing, is critical. So okay, we don't want to be destroying that stump, because then that tree will not grow back. Okay, I think that is it for those trees that we astral projected. So we have, yeah, that's actually quite a lot of wood. I am gonna get some more stone though, because we don't have any left. Or wait, no, I think we do have stone. It might be in the chest that we made in the previous episode, but I'll just get some more anyway, because you cannot really have too much stone in this game until later in the game, I guess, when you move on to other resources. But that's going to be quite a bit from now, considering the first 4 areas in this game, in the Velgar series, is not, how could I say this? The first 4 regions, there you go. The first 4 regions in this game are mostly stone, copper, and iron, I believe. And then everything else past Velgar is obviously going to be higher tiered resources. But we are so far from even getting close to that. I'm, not going to worry about it too much. Then we're going to stock up on berries, as they're really good for early game foods. Okay, so now let's see. I'm trying to think. So in order to build roofs, we're going to need to use this. This is the spell I was talking about last time that is like critical to this game. I use it for literally everything, from fighting to building, everything. This is the spell of the game right here that you're going to use all the time. So let's start building here. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our build menu. We're gonna go to roofs, and let's see, probably the hip roof is what we're gonna start off with. Let's see, is that correct? Yes, that is. Perfect. So we're gonna do one on this corner. Nope, nope. There we go. Whoops. Is that correct? No, that is not correct. You have to turn it one more degree. There we go. Oh, one more. There's another spell that I'm really waiting to get, and I think it's called the Eye of Oculus. And what that spell allows you to do, wait, why can't I pick up those logs? There we go. What it allows you to do is basically have like a fly cam. So you can just move about as you wish and place the pieces and in areas that you normally wouldn't be able to. That would be, well, not that you wouldn't be able to, but it'd be very difficult doing it the way I'm doing it, where I'm trying to get close to my building area. This is really hard to see here. Okay, so that's where it needs to be, like that. That jump method has saved me a few times during my offline playthrough. So we're going to step over here, and that's correct. Oh, no. No. Ah, nope. There we go. I'll fix that one on the bottom after. We'll go right here. And right here is going to be our next one. So we got our 4 pieces of our roof in place. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this so we don't forget. That's kind of the general layout that I'm going for. This will be a 2-story home, so I think this will be more like an alcove. I don't think I'm going to have like this entire second level being covered, because then again it kind of defeats the purpose what we were going for. We want to have that headspace while we go, because if I'll show you, if we go under here, this will be the camera view for like the entire bottom floor. So I'm going to probably just put flooring along this side, and that'll be like our second level. That can be for like crafting stations, whatever. And we can even do that along this outer part, and then the center area can be the main area, I guess, where we don't have to worry about that. But at the end of the day, this is a makeshift base that we're building, just because, again, my goal is to build a new base in each area. So, and then we're going to be traversing between the 4. So we'll keep this area for this types of resources, and then so on and so forth. I think that's the best way to do it. And we're going to go from there. So we're just going to finish building this roof, which these were 30 degrees, so I guess we can stick with the large 30-degree roofs just to keep it consistent. So we're gonna just jump back up onto the roof here, and then do this. And as you can see, it snaps together actually pretty well. Took me a bit to figure this part out, but and look at that, we unlocked a really useful spell that I love with building, is the Eye of Oculus. I will use that going forward when it comes to building taller structures and weird placements. So that is how you build a decent looking roof for that part. This part's a little weird. What I found to work the best is just doing the same thing you did on the previous, and then just kind of doing it this way. I don't know. I mean, there is a little bit of clipping issues doing it this way, I find. But who's going to be looking up here? That's my justification with that. So then you have these 2 little weird things here. So my way around that, if it still works, unless it's been patched, I don't know. Or maybe they even fixed it. I don't know. is to get one of these little triangles. That's not little. Maybe, can't remember which one it was. I think it might be this. No, no, no. Maybe this. Maybe on the other side. Okay, no, it's not that. I can't remember now. Maybe. No, not that. Well, I'm gonna just figure this out here. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Because, I mean, we could technically leave that open too as well, I guess. And then I can put flooring on the top part to cover it from the inside, but you know what? A little bit of airflow isn't going to hurt anyone. Because again, this is not really going to be a base I'm staying at and investing a lot in, so that's fine. We'll just leave it like that for now. And that's kind of our makeshift base now. So now we'll just make that second level. And we're also going to need to put some torches in here because lighting at nighttime is going to be just treacherous. So maybe we'll put a light source here. Put one here. Wonder if I can put it on the corner. No, I can't. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just do this. And then we'll place our flooring down right up top here. And then just to make this a little bit better structurally, I'm going to add some pillars or beams per se. Probably the thin beams are going to be the best here. So we'll put one here. That makes sense. And then we'll do the same on this side just for the sake of keeping things the same. Because we can also build a little bridge or something to walk between the two platforms. So let's go back here. We'll put some flooring here. Like that. And then I can put like a little bridge or something, but I don't know. We'll leave it like that, I guess, for now. And then we'll see what we can build for crafting stations. So it looks like we just got the campfire, that, and the altar. So let's move our stuff inside that we need to. So we're going to take this thing and we're going to destroy our campfire for now. And then we're going to put, before we start building our crafting stations in here, we're going to put this right by the door. Okay, so crafting table. We are going to put this guy right here. And campfire can go right here. And we got our bed already. And then our rune crafting altar. Kind of want to keep that outside for some reason. So, yeah. I think the better way to do it is, you know what? We're going to take and we're going to build a wall around our base, because once the grace period is over, they are going to start raiding our base. And I find, as of right now, I look at it as a game feature rather than a game bug. They don't really attack your base as much if you have a structure around it protecting it. So we're going to do this early before they start coming after us. And by they, I mean they are little goblin warriors. There's usually a band of like 5 or 6 goblins each time, and they usually have a 5-day rotation. I think it's every 5 or 6 days, something like that, where they attack your base. So there's that one. We're going to chop. Yeah, we can probably get away with doing this here. So, okay, it has to be these guys then. There we go. Perfect. So let's chop this guy up. Oh, is that going to be a problem? There we go. We're going to unlock that splinter cell pretty quickly. However, I think the problem with Splinter is I think it requires earth runes and nature runes, and our rune crafting level is not even close to being what it needs to craft those runes, so we're going to have to rely on the animas that are around the world. Basically, they directly convert rune essence to runes by the method of siphoning, which ironically enough is a feature that came from RuneScape 3. If any of you are familiar with RuneScape 3, it's the current live version of the game right now. While old school, well, is old school. It's kind of its own thing. See, like this clump of logs right here would be super useful to have that splinter cell right now. However, you can kind of cheat it a little bit, and you can hit 2 logs at once, maybe even multiples, maybe 4 at once. Nice. Try not to hit that tree. There we go. And then we got one more log up here. So I'm just trying to finish this wall here. I don't think I need to connect it much on the back, because the way that the base raids work is they have to be able to get to your base to do damage. And if I block this part off, they really can't get up here. So I can get away with just doing a half wall around the property, and that should be the end of that. So let's do this. I'll finish the wall, and then we'll put in a door space. So I think like that. Like that. So we can get rid of this since I have one inside. There we go. Almost in time too. It's becoming dark time. So let's see. So the front door is right there. So we can probably put the gate right here, I guess. Do that. And I don't know if this is how this works, but and then I guess we can get a couple of small, medium walls. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna just jump up here. This is what I mean. So let's see. Should work. That's good enough. That'll do for what we're using this for. So there's that, and then we also have a little berry bush in our base now, which is nice. And then over here, we can kind of block this off too. Maybe do something like this. And as you can see, like this is where the early access kind of shows, is like it's not really on the ground. But the cool part is this game is actually leaving early access as of September, I believe. So perfect. There we go. We got a little protection from the goblins when they show up. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of utilize this space as much as we can. The rune crafting, I don't know. I'm kind of weird. It's kind of like if I put it inside the altar, like I was saying before, it's going to clip through the ground and you're going to just see this big stone circle underneath. Unless they patched it, which I highly doubt, but we can try. So rune crafting, I can throw down here. So doing this. So there's the altar. We go over here and we have a look. You can probably see it. Just got to get the right angle. Yeah, see? But oh well. Oh well. And then outside can be for like later down the road when we get things like sawmills and stone grinders and those much bigger pieces of machinery. That's where they're going to need to be outside because there's no way that's fitting in there. And just like that, we made some pretty decent progress. We got a nice little base here, got a place to kill our sleep, and then we are going to just focus on getting food and such on the next episode. So thank you for watching episode 2, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.